It used to be a biological rule that colon cancer is an old person's disease. If you were under 50, your doctor wouldn't even screen for it. But that rule has been shattered. Right now, we are witnessing a terrifying epidemiological shift. We are seeing healthy, active 30-year-olds, people who go to the gym, track their macros, and don't smoke, walking into clinics with stage 3 and stage 4 colorectal cancer. It is the only cancer death rate that is currently rising in young adults, while others fall. Why? It's not just bad luck, and it's not just genetics. Your genes didn't change in the last 2 decades. Your environment did. Specifically, the chemical structure of what sits on your kitchen counter right now. You might blame sugar or red meat or a lack of fiber. And while those play a role, there is a silent assassin hiding in plain sight. It's a specific additive found in foods you think are healthy. Your plant-based almond milk, your low-fat yogurt, and that protein bar you grab after a workout. It is an industrial emulsifier known as E471, or mono and diglycerides of fatty acids. Here is the terrifying reality. E471 acts like a detergent in your gut. Just like soap dissolves grease on a frying pan, this additive dissolves the protective mucus layer of your colon. You don't feel it happening. There is no sudden pain, just a slow, silent erosion of the barrier that keeps bacteria away from your immune system. You might feel a little bloated, maybe a bit more tired than usual, but you dismiss it as stress. Meanwhile, low-grade inflammation is turning your own cells against you. In the next 20 minutes, we aren't just going to look at studies. We are going to dissect the mechanism of how this chemical hijacks your microbiome. I'm going to show you the exact biological pathway that links E471 to tumor growth. And more importantly, I will give you the human OS protocol to rebuild your gut barrier and harden your defenses against this modern epidemic. But before we can fix the gut, we have to dismantle the biggest lie you've been told about clean eating, a lie that is likely sitting in your fridge right now. If you walk into a doctor's office today and ask how to prevent colon cancer, you will get the standard 1990s playbook. They will tell you to stop smoking, cut back on red meat, and eat more fiber. It's the eat less, move more of oncology. And while that advice isn't necessarily wrong, it is dangerously incomplete. Break. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The demographic seeing the fastest rise in colorectal cancer, people under 50, are often doing exactly what they're told. We are seeing patients who are vegans. We are seeing marathon runners. We are seeing people who haven't touched a steak in 5 years and drink green smoothies for breakfast. If the red meat and fiber theory explained everything, these people should be immune. They aren't. In fact, in many cases, their risk is climbing. Why? Because the very health foods they are consuming to prevent cancer are chemically engineered to destroy the organ they're trying to save. Break. The enemy is not a steak. The enemy is a Trojan horse hidden inside your health food. The food industry has a problem. When you make healthy processed food, like almond milk, oat milk, or low-fat yogurt, it tastes terrible and has a miserable texture. Oil and water naturally separate. If you bought almond milk and it looked like a layer of gray water with white sludge at the bottom, you wouldn't drink it. So, to fix this, food scientists use surfactants or emulsifiers. This is where E471, mono and diglycerides of fatty acids, enters the chat. It is not your fault that you missed this. You were trained to look at the macronutrition label, calories, sugar, protein. You were trained to scan the ingredients for words you can't pronounce. But E471 sounds benign.
It sounds like a fat. Monoglycerides just sounds like science talk for part of a fat. But E471 is not food. It is a functional chemical agent. Its only job is to reduce surface tension. It forces oil and water to mix and stay mixed. That silky texture in your protein shake, that creamy mouthfeel in your vegan ice cream, that is the chemical doing its job. The problem is that your biology relies on oil and water not mixing. Your gut lining is water-based. The mucus that protects your colon cells is a watery gel. The bacteria in your gut are oily. They are supposed to stay on their side of the fence. When you consume high loads of E471, it doesn't stop working once it passes your throat. It continues to act as a detergent in your stomach and intestines. It washes away the demarcation line between safe zone and danger zone. You aren't eating unhealthy. You are inadvertently scrubbing away the protective coating of your colon day after day with every healthy smoothie and protein bar. You are stripping the paint off the walls of your house and then wondering why the mold is setting in. But how exactly does a simple texture chemical turn a healthy cell into a cancerous tumor? It's not just about leaky gut. It's about a specific biological traffic cop that E471 knocks unconscious, a guardian that is supposed to stop tumors before they start. To understand this, we need to look at the human OS architecture of your gut wall, and once you see it, you will never look at a carton of oat milk the same way again.
Before we look at the molecular mechanics, I want you to do something for me, right now. This script is useless if it remains theoretical. Pause this video, go to your fridge or pantry, pick up your favorite almond milk, your coffee creamer, or that keto-friendly bar wrapper in the trash. Look at the ingredients list. Do you see mono and diglycerides? Do you see soy lecithin? Do you see carrageenan or polysorbate 80? If you find one, come back and type the name of the product in the comments below. We need to build a database of these Trojan horse foods so others know what to avoid. I'll wait. Okay, let's look at the system you just exposed. To understand why E471 is lethal, you have to understand the architecture of your colon. Most people imagine their gut is like a copper pipe, a solid, impermeable tube where food slides through. That is wrong. The human OS design of your colon is terrifyingly fragile. The barrier between you, your bloodstream, your immune system, and them, the 38 trillion bacteria living in your gut, is not a thick wall. It is a single layer of cells, one single cell thick. That is thinner than a piece of tissue paper. If that single layer breaks, you get sepsis and die. So how has humanity survived for 200,000 years with such a fragile defense system? We survived because of the mucus firewall. Think of your colon like a medieval castle under siege. The single layer of cells is the castle wall. The bacteria in your gut are the barbarian army camped outside. Now, these bacteria are actually good for the ecosystem. They digest food, they make vitamins, but only if they stay outside the castle. Between the castle wall and the barbarian army, there is a moat. In biology, this moat is called the mucin 2 layer. It is a thick, dense, slimy gel that coats the lining of your gut. It creates a physical demilitarized zone. On one side, the bacteria party and ferment fiber. On the other side, your immune cells stand guard on the castle wall, watching. In the middle, the sterile mucus moat keeps them apart. As long as the moat is full, there is peace. The human OS is stable. Enter E471 and other emulsifiers. Remember what I said earlier? Direct. An emulsifier is a detergent.
Its chemical job is to lower surface tension and allow water and fat to mix. When you eat that healthy protein bar, the E471 arrives in your colon. It doesn't know the difference between the oil in the almond milk and the moat protecting your cells. It acts like a bridge builder. It changes the viscosity of the mucus. It makes it permeable. Direct, suddenly, the demilitarized zone dissolves. The barbarian army is no longer held back. They swim across the thinning mucus and physically touch the castle wall. This is the aha moment. Cancer doesn't start because you ate one bad meal. It starts because of microtranslocation. When bacteria touch the castle wall, your immune system panics. It thinks the castle has been breached. It launches a seek and destroy mission. It fires inflammatory cytokines. It raises the temperature. It swells the tissue. If this happens once, you recover. But because you eat processed foods every single day, this alarm never turns off. Your colon is in a state of perpetual war. Your cells are constantly being damaged by this friendly fire inflammation. To repair the damage, your cells have to divide and replicate faster and faster. Here is the deadly math. Chronic inflammation plus rapid cell replication equals mutation. The faster your cells are forced to divide, the higher the chance of a DNA error. One error becomes two. Two becomes a polyp becomes a tumor. You didn't get cancer because of bad luck. You got it because the E471 dissolved the moat, the bacteria breached the wall, and the constant war of inflammation exhausted your cellular repair mechanisms. But wait, the story gets darker. It turns out that E471 doesn't just dissolve the mucus, it actually feeds a specific type of bacteria that thrives on inflammation. There's a specific pathway inside your cells, a genetic switch, that this process flips on. Once that switch is flipped, your body stops fighting tumors and starts building them.